Pradipodito Bhagavata Narayana Swayam Vyasena Kradita Purana Munina Madhya Mahabharatam Advaita Varshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatva Manusantatami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Verse 14 and 15.
Yeah.
Make
you have to start there or commitment of a seeker? You have finished?
We have to start there.
Of a seeker. Okay. Commitment of a seeker we have to read.
Commitment of a seeker.
No, commitment of a seeker.
Okay. The commitment of a seeker. Here a question can be asked. If this pursuit is to be done without distraction, what am I to do if I am a family person who has to run a household? As a mother or a father, should I pursue Vedanta or take care of my children? Whether you pursue this knowledge alone or pursue it along with fulfilling your duty, what counts is your commitment. If commitment is there, whatever you do, this pursuit will not go. It is something like being in love. You are not going to think of your beloved by appointment. It is not that one of the items that you have scheduled for the day is going to be, I must think of my beloved. So whether you are doing your job, your love is not affected. When you love, you are consumed by that love. You too mumuksha, so too mumuksha, seeking, is what is meant here by being a person who is an ananya manas.
Ananya manas, very important. Ananya, in the sense I am not different from Ishvara. That is called bhakti, that is called love. Basically, any love is like that only. The oneness between what you love and what you are. So that is called Ananya. That is the whole principle of Ananya, Bhakti, Ananya, love and all that. It is not attachment, it is understanding. That is the difference between the two. That is what we are looking for, yeah.
Swamiji, actually, when we have some, I'm talking about a personal experience, we have some Bhagavata Parayanam, Narayanam Parayana. You have to go at a certain time, it starts at a certain time. Before that, as a housewife, I have to finish all the duties of the household. So sometimes when it gets due to somebody at home or when I get delayed, we get irritated, we get angry because we are not able to go there. So after having tried all those things, then at last I decided that if you can, let me go whenever I can, or otherwise recite at home. Because that agitation, mental agitation.
Yeah, correct. You are right. That's why I am telling. That is the difference between prayer and prayerfulness. Prayerfulness is born out of understanding. That understanding, even if you don't go to a particular class on a given day because of some house circumstances, the prayerfulness is not gone. An appointment alone is lost. That is what he says. It is not by appointment you love somebody.
But then that mental agitation.
That is because you think that you have a hang up of that appointment. It is not like an appointment with an office or another person. Appointment with Bhagavan is not an appointment. It is understanding. It is your Ananya Bhakti. You are always there. Okay, going to a class in the sense you are more with the satsang, there will be questions and answers, there may be something talked about the glory of Bhagavan. You would like to hear it. That's true. But that doesn't, just because you are not able to do it on a given day, it is not that you have lost an appointment or something like that. That is how you can, wherever you are, you can recite some slokas or something like that because you are tied up with some work and all that. So that is like that. This the sense of guilt and hurt cannot be there with reference to Bhagavan. It is all because it is an overflow of our way in which we look at life in other areas, we take it to Bhagavan also, which we should not. That's what the whole thing is all about, prayerfulness, not prayer as an appointment. That is what he is talking about, prayerfulness. That's what I was telling. In general, referred to as prayerfulness has to come with understanding. It is not a question of doing a karma, an action which will have its phala, whatever ever. In the sense, an action means you will feel guilty. If it is, I would not have got that phala. So that is not an action. It is prayerfulness is an understanding. So prayerfulness implies understanding, knowledge of Ishvara. So and it is Brahma, it is Ananya Chittaha. Listen, myself and Bhagavan are one and the same. That Ananya Chitta is important. That is how you have to look at even a Bhagavata class and all that. The whole thing has to look at it that way. So that is very different between prayer and actually there is one book called Prayer and Prayerfulness in our ask. Prashant can get you. There is a yellow book called Prayer and Prayerfulness. Beautifully Swamiji explained. The whole book is around 100 pages where he explains prayer and prayerfulness. You can look at that. Yeah.
Swamiji, many times when I want to do puja at morning at a particular time, because I have some other appointment after that, some other meeting and all that. If it gets delayed, I get irritated.
Yeah, that's what she is telling. That is because it is not a question of appointment. It is not an appointment. It is not an appointment with Bhagavan. It is a question of, it is a prayerfulness born out of understanding which you are already having. This only reinforces. So, the reinforcement can come in any form. You can just sit there and do meditation, or you can go finish your work and come back and do it, what you have missed. So, that is where he is not something separate from us. This prayer thing is not something separate from us. It is very important. That understanding has to come after all this, our Gita classes and all that. You should be very clear that Bhagavan is not separate from me. My bhakti and the love and devotion is ananya bhakti. It is not that he is available only in a particular time. Because time and desa kala vastu aparichinnam we are talking about. That is the question of time and place. It is okay, that's how we start, but we have to grow out of that. That's what he says, Ananya Manas. Right now he says, what is meant here by being a person who is Ananya Manas, meaning not different from Bhagavan. Yeah.
After doing all Archana and all, when Naivadyam part of it comes, sometimes it will be delayed because I would not have finished all the preparation. So we'll have to wait. Then for that time I'll tell you do some jabam. Let me finish and bring the Naivadyam. Keep doing some jabam. He will refuse. He will not do. He will say.
No, that is because out of habit. These things we get into all these things by habit, by society, by Vadyar, by our own practices and all that. Yeah, it's all upaya only. Finally, we have to grow out of all things, even the Shodasi and all that. There can be some plus minus here and there. But once you are into all this study and all, there you must relax. You must be able to relax in prayer. Plus minus, even if there is some plus minus, you must be able to relax in prayer. You can do japa or whatever. In the sense, if you are on a given day you are not able to do it also, it's okay. As long as you are having that attitude of prayerfulness, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. That is very important. Yeah.
Sometimes it will lead to laziness. It will lead to laziness.
No. See,
look at time.
That is why that apramatta you have to be alert. In the sense, that is why that pratyavaya dosha and all I explained. If you are missing a prayer, what else you are doing during that time? That is important. If you are doing something, suppose you are helping somebody is sick, you are missing a prayer and you are helping that person, then it is not laziness because you are doing something nobler. And by missing prayer and watching on TV, then it is laziness. So that is why pratyavaya dosha, what you are doing in its place, that makes all the difference. So it's a question of alert living. Then laziness will not come, procrastination will not come. If you have alert living, you should not give excuses for the sake of excuses. If it is really genuine, there is something nobler waiting for you to do because you are missing your prayer, it's okay. You know that. We all know what we are doing. We can fool the world, but we cannot fool ourselves.
Yeah.
Very important.
Shankara says, such people are not selfish. They don't subscribe to this philosophy of me and mine. They knowingly pursue. It is not simply because someone else whom he or she respects did it, and so one is just following in the footsteps. If you follow a beaten track, of course, you will not get lost. That is the beauty of it. But here, the path is proper inquiry, and if you properly cover all that is to be covered, you cannot but see. Like in arithmetic, if all the steps are followed, the answer must follow. It's an improper answer there must be a mistake in the steps. You retrace the steps and correct the mistake. But the correct answer is always the same and certain. This is a track of knowledge, and therefore, knowing full well what they are seeking, they pursue. How do they seek Ishvara is explained further by two more verses.
Yeah, these are all the important things. This is bhakti. This is what bhakti is all about. Actually, that is why this particular chapter is also called Bhakti Yoga. Not only a Raja. Yeah.
Making proper efforts for the Jignasu seek Ishvara.
Or the Jignasus.
Making proper efforts, the Jignasu seek Ishvara. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate mam satatam kirtayantaha. Those who are always appreciating me, yatantaha cha, and making the necessary efforts, dhrida vrataha.
Drida vrataha. Drida means, we know, drida means firm. Drida vrataha.
Drida vrataha. Those whose commitment is firm. Namasyantaha cha mam. And those who remain surrendered to me, bhaktya, with devotion, nityayuktaha, who are always united to me, upasate, they seek me. Those who are always appreciating me and making the necessary efforts, whose commitment is firm and who remain surrendered to me with devotion, who are always united to me, with a prayerful heart, seek me. Satatam.
See that here there is always, this is a very famous, what you call, famous verse for bhakti and all that. There can be misunderstanding in that. Swamiji clears it. See, here this bhakti which is being talked about is, in the sense you are in the process of understanding. So, you are yet to have that full understanding, complete, where you can say that Ishvara and me are one and the same. So, you keep the prayer going. The individual here is not part of Ishvara, but he what you are doing when you are doing this sort of a prayer, you are making a conscious effort to understand that Swarupa and you are one and the same. Ananya Bhakti you are seeking. So, and so what happens? This verse, especially 14, is the most misunderstood verse and quoted out of context by Bhaktas. That's what Swamiji says. Talking about the glory of Ishvara is talking about the glory of Jagat. That is the whole, we have seen, no, the 8th chapter. Adhyatmam, Adibhutam, Adidevam and all that. So, Satatam, here the word Satatam is used. Sarvata Bhagavantam Brahma Swarupam. Here it is, what do you call? When you are doing the Kirtanam, it says, no, Satatam Kirtayantaha. This is, generally we say Nama Kirtanam, Bhagavan Nama Kirtanam. That, here what he says is, Kirtanam here is a question of studying, understanding. What has all gone about till the 8th chapter, 9th chapters, what we have gone about, we are trying to understand it better and studying. That is called Kirtanam here. So, and also, like even in the world, like what you said, Bhagavatam and Vishnu Sahasranam and all, there are lot of names, okay, names which are, what you call, Swarupa Lakshanam of Bhagavan, or Avatara Lakshanam, or Vigraha Lakshanam, just names, glorifying names, or Avatara Lakshanam, or there can be what you call Vedanta, the meaning of Achyutaha means never away from truth, and all those things will be there. That is a Vedanta meaning. Those are all the names, 3 types of names. So, the Nami, so glory lies in the word, Nama Sankirtanam. Like he says,
I mean, your picture is frozen and no audio. The picture is frozen, no audio.
Audio there?
No, it's okay. No,
We have not heard.
no.
You okay?
Now it's okay.
We'll see.
The picture is frozen.
Picture is frozen.
There is no video.
No, it's okay.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ
Appappa nagarude. Appappa it gets frozen and then it becomes all right.
Picture is frozen only. Now it is okay.
But your audio you are hearing, right?
Yeah.
Audio you are
Break ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Not here now.
Picture gets frozen, audio breaks.
But your experience is same or different?
Picture is frozen. Audio also I am not getting. Swamiji is uttering something. No, both have stopped. Picture is there. Audio
I think you can disconnect and connect again.
frozen.
That's what I would do. I am trying to do. Yeah.
Audio also not there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he says that the whole thing, no, it is generally the kirtanam, all that will be generally said that Bhagavan Nama and all that. Here, what he says, kirtanam is standing by making the right effort. That is what he will be explaining. And one has to be alert to this satatam, always meaning there is a tendency against natural disposition, like laziness and all you are telling, no, that you are against that natural disposition. So, these are the things you have to be, you have to relate to this, what you call this verse in terms of Dhamma, Sama, and resolution of the mind, all those things. We have to bring all those things into this Kirtanam and this Yatanam, Yatantaha, all that. So anyway, you will explain, but these are all generally interpreted differently by Bhagavatas. That is why I am telling that in Gita context, we have to look at it what as Swamiji is explaining. You read it, you will come to know. Yeah.
Satatam kirtayantaha mam, always appreciating the glories of me, Parameshwara. They always see and appreciate Ishvara's glory, and his glory is not ordinary. All beings, things have their being in him, but he is free from all of them. He does not depend upon them for his existence. This is a wonder. Ishvara does not undergo any change, and at the same time he is the whole creation. He does not do anything, and at the same time he is the creator, sustainer and destroyer of the entire creation. This is Parameshwara's glory, which they appreciate and praise. The word Kirtayantaha can also mean Vicharayantaha.
Vicharayantaha meaning inquiry. Yeah.
Those who are always inquiring into Ishvara by Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. So who are these people? Yatantaha, those who make the necessary efforts. What are the efforts here? Shravana and Manana are not enough. They have to be backed up by the right kind of mind, because it is the kind of mind you have that really accounts for knowledge. A mature mind is necessary and is expressed here by the word yatantaha, those who take care of their minds properly. How? Shankara paraphrases the word yatantaha with the following statement. Indriyopasamhara.
Indriya upasamhara. Upasamhara means resolve all that. In the sense, you don't allow the indriyas to go haywire. Just be together as a person. That is called Indriya upasamhara. Yeah.
Indriya upasamhara.
Sama means control in the mind.
Ahimsadi lakshanaihi dharmaihi prayantaha. It is very Prayatantaha. It is a very clear definition of a sannyasi. Indriya upasamhara means resolution of the sense pursuits, not acting upon one's fancies. Naturally, this implies Dhamma, at the physical level, Sama at the mental level. You need to have mystery over the mechanical ways of your thinking and the various moods, etc., to which you are subjected. Instead of coming under the spell of thinking patterns, you are able to see through them. You have a say over them. In other words, you refuse to be led away by them. You do not act upon them. For this, you need to have an insight about yourself and also qualities that are necessary to enjoy the mastery, such as Sama, mastery over the mind, Daya, compassion, and Ahimsa, non-injury.
Yeah, all this we have discussed before. We have discussed this before. Like Daya and meaning when it comes to others, you must have that Daya and Kshama. Like you don't get disturbed by others' wrong behavior. Because by others' wrong behavior, if you are going to get disturbed, you can never be control of yourself. So if they have behaved wrongly, just accept them with some sense of accommodation and Daya. That is one thing. And with reference to yourself, you have to be like what you have gone through already. Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogatan. That is, in your mind, whatever thoughts come, just allow them to go. Whatever you have to pick and choose, act appropriately to the given situation, you act on it. You don't condemn yourself that I am getting bad thoughts and all that. Mind is like that. Thoughts will keep coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. But pick and choose what is appropriate to the given situation as per dharma. You know that very well. So that distance has to be there between you and the thoughts. You must be alert, you must be apramatta, that is what we have said. That is again will help you, the Shama, the management of thoughts. It's called Shama, it is not control or it is not putting down your own thoughts or something like that. It is a question of managing it, ensuring that you act appropriately. So Shama and Dhamma, same Dhamma also control, in the sense, ensure that you don't put yourself in a situation where you act badly and all that. Avoid all that. Dhamma, have a control on your limbs and all that. Shama, Dhamma, Samadhana, all those things we have discussed before. All those have to be brought in when you are talking about the yatantaha. Yatantaha meaning it is not a question of doing yatanam, struggle or something. It is a question of having a mindset, which I have been talking about. Mindset where the infrastructure is ready, where Indriya Upasamhara is there, Shama is there, Dhamma is there, Daya is there, Ahimsa is there, you don't hurt others. And these are all Lakshana. Lakshana meaning it is by which you are defined in that moment. That is called Lakshana. It is not physically. Physically you will look like everyone else also. Like every other person you will be there. Bhagavan says, Jadaval Loka Acharet. A person who knows, how will he move in the society? Jadaval Loka, Larim Paranarpavano. Jadaval Loka Acharet. That is how he says. Just like that. But you will have all this. You will have this Shama, Dhamma, Indriya Upasamhara, Ahimsa, Rakshanam, Daya. Daya means not melting. Just to, not like that. Be compassionate in the sense, appreciate others' problem. We have empathy. If other person behaves badly, there must be a background for that. Just give him some time or move away and whenever he is ready, talk to him. All those things are part of the Daya. So, these are all the Lakshana and this is called the Prayatantaha. Prayatantaha meaning this is the effort. Effort means not physical or struggle or something. It's a question of having an infrastructure which is ready, which doesn't disturb you in your prayerfulness in attitude. Prayerfulness, to be one with Bhagavan all the time, you need to have that relatively peaceful mind inside. Then only it's possible. For that all these qualities help. That's what Bhagavan is explaining as Yatantaha in this verse. Yatantaha means this is a Yatanam that is being talked about. Yeah.
All these show the maturity of the person. Compassion can be natural or cultivated. Here it is cultivated compassion because the person is making an effort, yatna. You try to be compassionate and whenever you lack compassion, looks into what it takes to be compassionate. There is a conscious attempt to maintain this compassion. Compassion is mentioned again and again by Shankara because compassion towards all living beings is a vow taken by the sannyasis. Ahimsa, not deliberately hurting another living being, is the greatest vow taken by a sannyasi at the time of sannyasa. It is the one that characterizes him most. All other values like amanitva, adambitva, arjava.
These qualities which I have told in this chapter 13, Bhagavan lists some 20 values as qualifications. We will read about it when we come to chapter 13. That's what he is referring. If you, the first three only he has referred here. Amanitvam means absence of, what you call, looking for respect from others. Even if genuinely you are justifiable in respect, expecting yourself, you have got a self-esteem and you want others to respect you, that is fine. But you cannot be depending on others' respect for you to respect yourself. That is called amanitva. Because basically you have a good opinion about yourself. That is your reality. Which you have been talking about, that you as a awareness being is complete in itself. You don't need others to respect you for you to feel good about yourself. That is called amanitva. And adambitvam is you have a low self-esteem about yourself, so you want others to respect you. The damba meaning, we know, damba marka meaning unnecessarily expecting somebody else to respect you. He is busy with his own work. He wants him to respect because you are not having a good esteem about yourself. That is called pretense. In English they call it pretense. The sense where there is no necessity for others to respect you, you are asking for it. That is called pretense. So unnecessary emphasis on others respecting you, and even when you are deserve it also, and pretense, trying to impose others to respect you even when you are not involved in something, that is all called pretense. So amanitvam, adambitvam is that's how it starts. That 20 qualifications for a person to have a proper disposition inside for this jnanam, Bhagavan lists in the chapter 13. There it starts with amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, arjavam and all that. We will discuss it later. Arjavam means I have told before also, it is then straightforwardness, like alignment between thought, word and deed. What you think you speak, what you speak you do. That is called alignment. That is arjavam. That is called rujubhavam. Rujubhavam means you are together as a person, like a rope. All the three strings have to be together, no? The rujubhavam. So that is called togetherness. All this we will discuss it later. But here he is mentioning that these are all the values as part of your inner disposition, samadama and all that. Yeah.
Swamiji, actually, the aspect of respect, I have a small question. See, there is a big family function, someone is arranging something, equally everybody has to be given, I don't mean respect here, compassion and manliness to a person of mankind. So somebody arranged something in their house, they arranged for all the nine brothers are there. They arranged for 8 people, but one brother alone was taken for a ride. He was thought, okay, he's taken for granted. So sometimes we say, irakkapadu, yemarade. They say it in organizations. You be smart, but don't be a fool. Because if you're a fool, you're getting fooled. Now, that's more compared with ego. I agree that it is not correct. But sometimes, Swamiji, if you don't get respect at a place and you go to that place, you get humiliated. Now, it is better to not go rather to stay at home, right? So I find it difficult when you say do not expect others to respect you. That kind of concept from a Vyavahara perspective, it's kind of difficult to accept that, Swamiji, because
no. See, the respect what is being talked about in the Gita is the amanitvam which is talked about is the sort of self-respect, in the sense you respect yourself, you are sure about yourself. If you are sure about yourself, not as a person, identified person, I am so and so engineer, I have got so much of finances and all that. No, the manitvam that is being talked about is as a being with your understanding of Gita as being a prerequisite for you to have an internal infrastructure which is ready to be relatively tranquil, peaceful at all times. You must be able to rise above your body-mind identification and have your oneness or your being as a human being. I am Purnam. I don't need respect for me to feel respected. That is how we start with. Okay. Now what you are telling is a situational thing. The situational thing in a given situation, if you have a judgment that no, they are purposely doing it, you can always avoid that. There is nothing wrong that. In that case, you are not losing any self-respect because you are very sure about your respect. And even if you decide to go, suppose you know very well that they are doing it out of some spite or something like that, you go with the deliberate understanding that they are not going to give you that suitable respect and all that. And still you go because you don't want to hurt others. Maybe there may be others in that family where they have got a good disposition towards you. If you don't come, they will feel bad. So going there. So either way, you are ready, mentally ready that you have got a good opinion of others. You don't want certificate from others. Number two, you know very well there are some elements there which are not going to give you the due respect. In spite of that, you are going. Otherwise, you are avoiding. In all the three scenarios, you will be taking care of yourself. You will not allow yourself to be hurt because of somebody's misdemeanor. Because that is not. Why somebody else's mistake should affect you? That is how we have to look at it. In the sense, we have to be mentally ready for those things. These things happen. I tell you, in every family, every social situation, these things always happen. That is why the absence of self-respect is one thing. That is why Amanitam is the first value that is being talked about. After all this understanding and after going through all these things, that I am the awareness being, I am a being, I am seeking oneness with Ishvara. I have no other commitment. Everything else I am doing just for the sake of it, like playing my role, whatever I am supposed to do in life, nimitta matram bhava, I am doing. And I am keeping my mind ready. All this help me to be, to have that space within me where I don't, for all, whomsoever is relating to you, they are relating to you only through your body, mind and senses. Only through your Aadhaar card they are relating to you. I tell you, even if your own kith and kin cannot understand what is going on inside, nobody sees your mind. Everyone relates to you as so and so, that's all. So that in that there can be mistake. But as being as a person, you have got all that self-respect in you. You know very well that my relationship is one with Ishvara and all that. With that understanding, when you are operating, these things do not really matter. They are all only vyavahara. You do whatever you need to do. At the end of the day, come back and have a good sleep. Very important to have that and the build-up for the period of time. That's called awareness. Since the oneness with Ishvara is something which you will value. And oneness with Ishvara is nothing but oneness with yourself in the first place. That your understanding of yourself as Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinnam, I am the being. Everything else, body, mind, name, fame, everything is all part of the embellishment. These are all, and I have got the space inside that I am the being. These are all my embellishments with which I do vyavahara in the society, whether it is family or otherwise. And just that is very important. They are insisting on that. This thing will happen, and that is why people in the society have got a greater chance to understand these things. So you can easily, for us nobody will, because since I am not interacting with anyone, I don't get that situation. I have gone through all that in my earlier life, and I would have grown out of all those things. That is why I am able to be here. So like that, these are all opportunities for growth. If somebody insults you, it is an opportunity for you to grow. You are not, you have the space inside, you have the cushion inside, you have the compassion. In spite of the fact somebody was trying to do it, you have the compassion, he is doing it out of his own lack of understanding, whatever, he has got some spite, maybe he is having some problem inside. So by insulting you, he is feeling better off. Okay, let him be, what does it matter? Like that, since that cushion inside, that space inside is the most cherishable thing in this pursuit. Very important, yeah.
All other values like Anmanta, Adambitva, Arjava should also be there because they are necessary for the maturity of the Antakarana required to gain this knowledge. Therefore, the word Yatantaha refers to those who are making effort to accomplish these virtues, which is why Bhagavan uses the word Yatantaha here. A sannyasi is called a yati, the one who makes effort. He has two things to do. One is the pursuit of knowledge, and the other is making effort to mature emotionally if he needs to. He cannot, he commits himself. commits itself to himself, to ahimsa, and then lives day to day, moment to moment. Any Vedanti becomes an adhikari only when he or she lives life one day at a time. Otherwise, Vedanta does not work. You plan only for one day, even a plan for the future is only today's plan. Tomorrow you are ready to revise it. That is the life of a Vedanti. Naturally, there is yatna, certain effort for gaining the adhikaratva,
Adhikaritva means qualification.
qualification, pursuit of listening to the Shastra, and so on.
Importance of commitment, and they are Dhradavrataha, whose commitment is firm. Many people are very enthusiastic in the beginning and then quietly withdraw. But the Dhradabratas undertake their pursuits with a commitment. Once they undertake something, they commit themselves to it and pursue unless the evidence is totally against it. The moment you see things are not going well for you, you again study your course. What am I heading for? Is it worthwhile? If not, sometimes you have to withdraw and re-equip yourself and then start again. When you make a commitment, always make it small. You then do better than what you have committed yourself to. Otherwise, you create unnecessary pressures upon yourself and feel defeated most of the time. However, here, the Dhritabratas are the people who are committed to moksha, and so there is no changing the goal. Vrata is generally translated as vow. Here it is not exactly a vow but a commitment. You take a vow to accomplish a particular task. But here a total change is required. They are committed to moksha, the Parama Purushartha. So the other three Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Kama, do not assail them. That is why in chapter 13 of the Gita, while enumerating the qualities that are to be cultivated by a mumukshu, the Lord himself mentions Tattva Jnana Artha Darshana, the capacity to see the truth of this knowledge as unfolded by the Shastra as the last of the qualities. Such people cultivate an understanding of the fact that moksha is indeed the result of knowledge. It means they have Purushartha Nishchaya. What they really seek in life is very clear for them. Then the pursuit gains a direction and anything they do becomes highly meaningful. Because they understand that moksha is the result of tattva jnana, they have jigyasa. It is not merely a desire for moksha without direction. They know for sure that the moksha they seek is in terms of self-knowledge alone and nothing else.
Swamiji, I have a question here.
See, I have this 13th chapter thing, one verse. There is a talk series by Swamiji, just put in the public. That Saturday evening we used to put, no? The one full capsule of 36 talks are available with me. I will, after we finish 13, I will send it to you. It's a beautiful way how to develop all those qualities and all that. How to be internally, be ready with the infrastructure for pursuing this and claiming this moksha as reality. Because it is very well required for day-to-day living. It's mostly required for people in the grahasthas. That's how Swamiji has designed that. So I will send you that later once you finish 13. Then you can go through it again and again. Keep it with you. Yeah.
Swamiji, I have a point here. Whatever you call it, question or point or whatever it is. Suppose somebody doesn't respect us or respect me when I am expecting respect from others. When that is happening, I hope you are able to hear.
Yeah, I am able to hear. You are able to hear me, no?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
when somebody, I'll take only 2 minutes. When somebody doesn't respect in a group where I am expecting a great respect from everybody, when such a thing happens, it is human to think or get irritated. And if we develop the kind of feeling that I am a awareful being and I am one and the same as the others, then that feeling should not come. This is what I understand.
Yeah, definitely. I tell you, it happens. happens. It happens all the time. I am telling you, it has become so very like even here when I go for some function and all that. Some people know how to. They don't even know. It's not out of. They want to do it like that or something. They may not know. That's all how to receive a sannyasi. They may know. Sometimes they may not know. Sometimes they expect you to be in a very unapproachable person and all. When you go and talk to them easily, they find it very. This all happens. When everyone it happens, but it should not be bothering you at all. Once you are aware of yourself, once you are understanding about yourself and your relationship with the world is very clear, these things really do not matter. Honestly speaking, go do your bit, whatever you are supposed to do, be part of it and be nice to people and come back. That's it. Without expecting anything or even an iota, even if somebody else might have some agenda, you don't need to see when a person has an agenda against you. If only you take cognizance of it, you are making him succeed in that agenda. If you don't take cognizance of it, suppose somebody is trying to insult you, but you don't feel insulted, you just feel nice to him and come back, then it doesn't really make him a winner in any way. So we don't have to actually, generally once you grow into these things, those things go out of your mind. Honestly speaking, you just go and do whatever you need, any given situation, any function, any social gathering, whatever, wherever you go, just do your bit and just walk away. That's all. You don't, once someone respects you and calls you and fine, receive it. They don't see you, they are seeing something else. You do your bit. That's it. And very important to get out of those things. Actually, it's all, we are self-conscious because we have got a certain opinion about ourselves which is not very holy. We are not very confident about ourselves. So in such a situation, in every situation you will be self-conscious. How other fellows treating you. It will be always at the top of your mind because you don't have a good self-esteem about yourself. That is how it all starts, honestly. If you have a good self-esteem about yourself, how others treat you doesn't really matter. It doesn't even come to your horizon. You are busy going and doing what is appropriate other than other fellow thinks about me. So that is how that is why the Ramanism is very important. We will discuss it when we come to that. Very important that you have a certain self-esteem that comes only out of understanding. Out of understanding meaning you are the essential. Without you, the world is incomplete. That is self-esteem one should have. Because Ishvara minus you is not Ishvara. So that is how it is. You are an important cog in the wheel, and you are what do you call it? As the understanding grows that there is a kala vastu aparichinnam, which the Surupa views Ishvara. Even otherwise, you are the whole thing is Ishvara. All that here is Ishvara means you are very much part of Ishvara. So you don't at no point in time you need to have a self-esteem. It's not comfortable, which you are not comfortable with. Then only you will expect others to. Only when you are not comfortable with yourself, you don't have a self-esteem, then only you expect respect from others, whether it is family or professional or gathering. When you are very happy with, content with yourself as a self-esteem person, then it is not, doesn't even come to your cognizance how others treat you in a crowd. You are not really bothered. That is my experience.
Okay.
That is how we have to grow. That is how we have to grow into. It is very important. That is what is very important in our life. To grow into such a person where we don't expect respect from others for me to feel comfortable about myself. It is very important. That is what is the first value. Yeah.
The entire pursuit is going to be determined by how clear you are about what you are seeking. If the human end is very clear to you, you have a direction. The knowledge and everything else involved becomes something that you love only when this Purushartha Nishchaya is there. If the understanding of moksha is hazy, there will be confusion and lot of problems, which is why Purushartha Nishchaya is mentioned as one of the values for jnana. Since he has said, that is chapter 13 verse 11, Adhyatma Jnana, knowledge for which the subject matter is Atma, you can conclude that understanding Atma as a sinner or as anything else for that matter is Adhyatma Jnana. To avoid this, Tattva Jnana Artha Darshana is a very important value. It is the clear understanding that knowledge of the self is liberation. It also includes the understanding that nothing else is required. With the help of Shruti and through your own vichara, in keeping with the Shruti, you realize that any pursuit is going to be limited. This is Anityatva Nishchaya that results in Vairagya, certain distraction, and the understanding that self-knowledge is the only way out. That kind of understanding of the Purushartha makes them Dridavratas. They give up everything because they are free from the three types of desires for progeny, security, and a better situation in the hereafter. They live a life of a mendicant only for Atma Jnana, for moksha. They are called Dridavratas. Grace of Ishvara is important. In all these, the grace of Ishvara is important. Therefore, Lord Krishna says here, Mam Bhaktya Namasyantaha. These are the people who have surrendered to me with devotion. The whole pursuit is done only in an atmosphere of devotion. In such an atmosphere, you cannot claim credit for any achievement because you recognize so many limitations. Namasyantaha are those who surrender, who have a prayerful heart in their pursuit. People surrender to different things. Some surrender to money, converting into Ishvara in the form of Lakshmi or Kubera. They surrender to varieties of things according to the ends they seek, their own likes and dislikes, and their vichara. It all depends upon their level of maturity. But here, Shankara says that they surrender to Atma, the self, the one who is Isha, the Lord of intellect. They surrender to that Atma alone because they have placed all they have at the altar of Paramatma. This is what is to be understood. We can also take it that they have surrendered to the Lord who is the creator, sustainer and destroyer of the entire world, invoking his grace. Ishvara's grace is here, as is your own grace, and the grace of the Shastra and the Guru. Pursuing Ishvara in an atmosphere of bhakti is very important, which is why this is not an academic pursuit. Nor is it a purely religious pursuit because there is so much vichara, inquiry involved. You are inquiring into the words and their meanings, which implies grammar, logic, and so on. It looks very academic, but the whole pursuit is value-oriented. It is a pursuit in an atmosphere of surrender, bhakti, which is why you cannot separate religion from this pursuit. Even though it is not a set of beliefs, but something that has to be understood, then too, Ishvara's grace is necessary here. So Bhagavan says that these people surrender to me with devotion and seek me with a prayerful heart. Namasyantaha cha mam bhaktya upasate. To recognize Ishvara as karma phala data, the giver of the fruits of action, and karma adhyaksha, the one who presides over all karmas, is bhakti. Any possibility of action is because of Ishvara. So at both levels, that is at level of doing the karma and at the level of receiving the results, you have an appreciation of Ishvara. An abiding devotion is adequate. This bhakti is abiding for those who are bhaktya nitya yuktaha, those who are always connected to me with their abiding devotion. By Dehali Deepa Nyaya, 18, footnote, Dehali Deepa Nyaya is an analogy of a lamp placed on the threshold. It casts its light both inside and outside of the house. Similarly here, the words Mam Bhaktya goes with both the words. Thus, by Dehali Deepa Nyaya, the words can be connected to both Namasyantaha and Nitya Yuktaha. Thus, the Lord says that these are the people who are always committed to me with devotion. Being so, they meditate upon me. This is said to point out that only bhakti which is lasting is adequate. Bhakti can be sporadic like the smashana vairagya. When somebody dies and the bereaved goes to the smashana, cremation ground, he develops a vairagya towards his pursuits in life. He realizes all that he had worked so hard for, he cannot carry with him and begins to wonder as to what the real meaning of life is. He becomes a great seeker until he goes home and sees the Wall Street Journal. Footnote, an international daily newspaper in English. All his vairagya disappears. Immediately he begins to think about how to increase his wealth. It was just a temporary vairagya. Such a quest for the real purpose of one's life occurs in everybody's head, but it is not pursued. Similarly, one can have a flame of devotion, but it can get extinguished due to inadequate understanding. The prayerful attitude mentioned here is born of understanding. If the understanding is vague, the devotion is subject to waning and waxing, which is why the Lord says, Bhaktya Nitya Yuktaha, those who are endowed with lasting devotion. Their devotion is for the sake of gaining knowledge of Ishvara. Previously it was said that there are 4 types of devotees, the one in distress, the one who wants to achieve something, and the third one, the Jignasu. It is the Jignasu who is being talked about here. These mumukshus, Jignasus, who are Nitya Yuktas, want to know the truth of Ishvara because the Shastra says Ishvara is everything. So Bhagavan says, they worship me, they seek me. How they seek is described in the next verse.
Yeah, we will see that. We will see that tomorrow. So all things, most of the things we have been discussing. Regularly I have been telling you these things. So we have to keep that. All those things we have to keep it up. The sense our bhakti, and also that it's a question of the bhakti is based on understanding. Prayerfulness is understanding. Understanding means it is understanding like understanding a movie or understanding a game or something. It is a question of understanding of life. Understanding of life means the oneness of life, oneness between Ishvara and you. And everything else is changing. We are changeless. Our reality is changeless. Everything else around us are going to be changing. And the changing depends on the changeless. The changeless does not depend on the changing. So we only give satta and spurti to the world around. Because there is no world. If you don't provide the world, there is no world around. All these things you should bring it back. That is understanding. That makes that understanding. In the sense, in order to make this understanding complete only, even our Ishvara Bhakti also. We are developing Ishvara Bhakti, that what we call prayerfulness, only to keep our internal infrastructure ready for pursuing this understanding of oneness between me and Ishvara. So whenever I am saying mom, in the Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavan says mom, I should also be able to say mom. Then your understanding is complete. And that's what he says. Mom means, basically the mom, even in Hindi as well as aham, atma, everywhere, is only the self. Atma means self, aham means self, mom means self. And Bhagavan says, he also is self only. He doesn't call himself, everywhere he calls himself mom, mom, mom. He doesn't say Brahman and all that. He says mom. Why he says mom? Because the reality of you and the reality of Bhagavan here is only mom. Mom means I. I is the same in both of us. That understanding is like I understand, you also understand. That's what the whole Upadesa is all about. For that, we need an internal infrastructure. For that, all this upaya, like this, all this karma yoga, these values, and our prayer, how you approach prayer, how you look, how you have to be prayerful. Prayerfulness is more important than just prayer. Prayer is not an appointment with God. Prayerfulness is understanding. There is a difference between the two. All along, generally prayer means appointment with God. No, prayerfulness is understanding. Then it can never be away from you. You are understanding, you are your understanding actually. Understand life only you are. Whether you like it or not, you are your understanding. So as the understanding grows, you become one with Ishvara. So that is prayerfulness. That is what he is emphasizing. We will keep continuing, we will study it further. Yeah. Om Purnamada
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ